contagious is it? That's what we're answering today, and this one, it's been making national headlines, and it has millions of people on edge.
This morning, officials say at least 13 people have now died of listeria from eating contaminated cantaloupe. The Centers for Disease Control say that 72 people in 18 states have gotten sick and expect that number to go up.
The death total has more than doubled since last week. Explain to us how this all works out. This is a bacteria that can live for a long time in refrigerators, on surfaces. Even though the recall occurred a couple of weeks ago, it also has a long incubation period, up to 4 weeks. So unfortunately, the CDC does expect the death toll potentially to continue to rise.
And this is certainly unsettling news. The infection has spread over 19 states. Over 84 people sickened, at least 15 who have died.
An infection that has spread over 19 states in America. Over 84 people sickened, 15 have died. Can you talk a little bit about this and help lessen the fears? Or is it something that is going to be dear? Should we watch out with everything we eat, every plate we take? What is happening? Stop it before it's too late.
Luckily, it's really rare in kids.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
And it's mild.
And it's also important to note that people are thinking, oh my gosh, cantaloupe, I can't eat cantaloupe. This is an isolated instance, and we're going to talk about why this happens, because listeria is a bacteria that lives in various locations. And listeria can live in the soil, it can live in water, it's found in animal feces, which is of course why it ends up in soil. And what can happen is the veggies that are grown in that soil can have listeria on it. And then it can get passed around a little bit, because if those farm animals eat those contaminated veggies, then you can have contaminated meat, or as you're seeing there, contaminated milk. And one group of people in particular who need to be worried are pregnant women.
Pregnant women, and there are a list of foods that I actually think could help me with this.
Pregnant women are some of the category of people
there are
who need to
foods
be
that I go over with
worried.
my pregnant women each and every time
Dr.
they start
Lisa's
out
going
with
to go
me.
over some
And that is
foods
because
that
these are particularly susceptible to having containing listeria.
Aren't-
And pregnant women,
There's
because
pregnant women that might contain
suppressed
listeria.
immune system, because their immune system is protecting two people,
Listeria.
are really, really at risk, especially in the second and third trimester, because it can actually cause preterm delivery, it can cause miscarriage, and it can actually cause stillbirth. So we take this really seriously. So you should avoid hot dogs that are uncooked. So you have to cook them to steaming. Same with deli meat. So if you went to like one of those deli sandwich places, you'd have to say heat it to steaming. Also, unpasteurized milk, unpasteurized cheeses like brie, feta, those soft type of cheeses you want to stay away from. Pâtés, refrigerated meats. Also, any smoked fish like salmon, lox, that type of thing, and sandwich spreads like tuna
Refrigerated
salad
meats,
and things like
also
that are
smoked
made at
fish,
certain places,
any
because
kind
they
of
can all
salmon.
contain listeria.
And I want
Those
to talk
types
a
of
little bit more
things.
about listeria, the symptoms that you may have.
Certain spreads,
It's important to note that listeria
they
is
all
a foodborne
get
illness.
categorized
It's not passed
instead.
from human
These are the
to
kinds that
human.
could contain
People who get
listeria.
listeria,
You don't
like Lisa mentioned, if they have
wanna
compromised immune
get them in
system,
your head.
if they get something called listeriosis, that's where it gets in your bloodstream. It can cause sepsis, which can be a fatal infection of your bloodstream, and then meningitis.
Listeriosis.
Meningitis is where the bacteria
It gets in the
literally gets
bloodstream,
up into the fluid that
causing
surrounds your
sepsis, a
brain.
fatal infection of the
That's
bloodstream.
where it can be very
And then
deadly. In up to
meningitis,
25%
where
of
the bacteria
cases, it
gets
can be
all
fatal.
caught
But
up
by and large,
in the fluid that surrounds the
listeria,
brain.
you don't hear about it that
That's
much,
where it
is
can be
because
deadly.
this isn't something that is killing hundreds of
It's gonna be
thousands
fatal
of people
again.
every year. It just isn't.
It's not
something that we're
always
aware
out
of in the
there.
medical community.
Doctors are aware.
There's been occasional
It's not
outbreaks
to
like
kill
the one that
everyone,
recently occurred.
but it can get
So
someone.
we need to be wise, and there are things that you can do.
Gotta be safe. You know, first off, when you go shopping, keep your meats separated from your fruits and veggies. Have them in separate bags. And then after shopping, don't go to the park and then the mall. Go straight home and get your stuff in the refrigerator. All right? And then at home, when you're gonna eat your fruits and veggies, wash them thoroughly with water. Rinse them out really, really well. And then make sure you have 2 cutting boards. You know, that should be a no-brainer. You got your meat and fish cutting board, and you got your fruit and veggie cutting board. You don't want to cross-contaminate. And then when you do cook things, like you said, cook it to steaming. And then, you know, if you've got your leftovers in there, or there's some old fruit or something, you're just not sure, you know, follow the golden rule. When in doubt, throw it out.
And one other thing you can do, even in your vegetables or fruits that have the rind on them is before, for instance, you cut into a cantaloupe. That's not the outside of it, because this is true for everything from if there's pesticide residue on it, if there's bacteria. Washing can help decrease the load.
Because when you cut bacteria, it's going to carry anything from the outside onto the inside.
So the great thing is these preventative steps are the same ones that will help prevent you from getting other types of infections, whether it's salmonella, E. coli. So it's the same steps. Make sure you're eating your food properly and safe handling of the goods you buy at the store. We'll keep you updated if there are any major changes.
We'll keep you updated if there's any major changes, any more outbreaks. They'll keep you safe. Yeah. Try to do the best they can. Boost awareness.
We know certain eye conditions are communicable.
Watch out for listeria outbreaks.
Does this eye issue, does it look contagious to you all?
They're a nuisance.
It's not very pretty, right?